MotorWeek is made possible by TireRack.com and RockAuto.com.
Ever since Carroll Shelby created the legendary AC Cobra in the 1960s, car enthusiasts have longed for a sequel. When Chrysler unveiled the retro muscle Dodge Viper at the Detroit Auto Show 2 years ago, it looked like their prayers might be answered. But at the time, the V10 dream car was just that. The Viper was intended as an expression of Chrysler's corporate vitality, not for actual production. But once the public was bitten by the Viper, things changed fast. Vipers will go on sale early next year. However, the goal of the exercise has not changed. Detroit's North American International Auto Show, January 1989. That's where the world got its first look at the Dodge Viper RT10. A wonderfully simple two-seat roadster designed to show off Chrysler's imagination and its V10 engine that was supposed to do most of its work in trucks. Chrysler called the Viper a true American sports car. And while the Viper was the hit of the show, Chrysler's ability to make such a car was the big question. Well, here it is, almost. In just a few months, the first production Vipers will pass through selected Dodge dealers and into the hands of its admirers, only 3 years after its Detroit debut. That's a third less time than it traditionally takes to develop a traditional car. And that's what the Viper story is all about. Making cars faster, cheaper, but better. Viper is the pilot for how Chrysler expects to manage its next generation of passenger cars. The Viper legend apparently began with another legend, Carroll Shelby. It is said that he convinced Chrysler President Bob Lutz to make a 90s answer to his 60s Cobra. Fact is that this rather small design room is where the Viper's incubation is taking place. This is the home of Team Viper. Here labors a small collection of volunteer engineers covering all of the specialties of the Chrysler organization, all in one room. In many ways, it is a car company within a car company, practicing a gospel known as simultaneous engineering. Executive engineer for Viper, Roy Soberg, explains.
The conventional methodology of automotive industries and actually large organizations, large structures, has been you go from A to Z by going A to B to C to D. In simultaneous engineering, it's all happening at the same time, concurrently. And it doesn't happen overnight. That's a culture change. But for Viper, I think we've almost nicknamed it the Big Bang. Because when you do simultaneous engineering, things happen very quickly. Things happen concurrently. Then you see a number of issues come together at one time. And that is uncomfortable to deal with at first, but it means that everyone makes their designs collaborate, as it were, so that the product is manufacturable at the same time it's being designed.
Communication is the simple key to Team Viper's efficiency. When the team leader wants to get everyone's attention, his method is just as simple and effective.
VR19, our first program car, will be coming from New Mac this afternoon, so I want each of the engineers to take a look at the vehicle, make sure the parts are correct on it.
While most engineering staffs have to drive to the shops where their prototypes are built and tested, for Team Viper, it's a short walk down the hall. Seeing if an idea works or finding a fix if it doesn't can be managed very quickly. Take, for instance, designs for the removable fabric top and side curtains. Pieces of the Viper puzzle that, while not in the original concept, are concessions to practicality. This is also where the first 400 horsepower all-aluminum V10 Viper engines are installed in test chassis. Here too, most of the development problems of the Viper design were exposed, and likewise the milestones celebrated. And while there were major development problems in bringing the Viper to ground, our first impression is that they all have been addressed. Our time in this prototype Viper at Chrysler's Proving Grounds was measured in minutes. But it was enough to dispel some obvious suspicions about the car. The Viper is not a V10 Cobra. It is a far smoother operator. Engine vibration is well isolated, yet its 8 liters still manage to snap your head back into the seat as you zoom beyond 60 miles per hour in under 4.5 seconds. Handling is near neutral, with a tail that can be expertly controlled in small degrees with the sensitive throttle. The clutch and shift linkage for the 6-speed Borg-Warner gearbox are heavy, but seem suited to the car's character. The special Michelin tires grip hard, but not so hard that the Viper is sluggish to maneuver at low speeds. The ride of the Viper is firm, but not bone-jarring as we expected. No, the Viper is not a Cobra replica. It is both more civilized and impressive than that. While the Viper will be a sales success, only time will tell if it's an engineering success. If Chrysler can transfer the way it designed the Viper to more complex models, the exercise will have been worthwhile. Judging by the car and the enthusiasm we encountered with the men and women of Team Viper, we'd take a bite any day.